Studio concerts. Okay,
Yes.
not exactly the first thing that comes to mind when you think rock stars and screaming fans, right?
Yeah.
But this Dutanada Music School, they've got this whole philosophy built around these smaller performances. They say it's really key, really vital for how their students grow as musicians. So we're diving into that today. I'm really curious about these excerpts you shared about their whole program. Like, what's the big deal with these more intimate concerts? What makes them so special for these young musicians?
It's fascinating, actually. Dutanada uses these smaller, low-pressure performances, kind of like a stepping stone, not the main event, more like building a foundation,
Right.
brick by brick, you know?
Yeah. They're not throwing these kids into the lion's den right off the bat onto some huge stage with a spotlight. It seems like a much more, well, I guess nurturing approach. And the notes you sent over really highlight how these studio concerts actually help the students get comfortable performing. Like they build confidence because they're playing so often, but in a way that's, I don't know, manageable. It's not overwhelming.
Exactly. Think of it like this. You wouldn't just jump into the deep end of a pool if you didn't know how to swim.
Well, some people might.
Huh. Fair enough. But in this case, Dutanada's easing them in. That gradual exposure, even if it's on a smaller scale to start, does wonders for stage fright. For anyone, really. It's not just musicians who get nervous. Public speaking, presentations, even job interviews, that feeling's pretty universal.
Totally. You know, it's funny you say that. I actually get more nervous talking to like 5 people I know than I do to a crowd of strangers.
Really? See, for me, it's the opposite.
It's fascinating how our brains work, right? But anyway, back to these studio concerts. The thing that really stood out to me is it's not just about playing the right notes at the right time. Dutanada, they're big on the whole package, like
Yeah.
even down to how the students bow or how they hold themselves on stage. And they're strict about when to walk on and off, too. It's all very,
Intentional.
yes, that's the word, intentional.
Right. Because even though those things might seem small, they matter, especially as these students grow up. You know, in a professional setting, those details, they speak volumes. It
Yeah.
shows you're not just messing around, that you respect what you're doing, you respect the people watching you, you respect the whole process.
It's that saying, right? Practice makes.
Perfect.
Well, I was going to say progress, but, close enough. And speaking of practice, Dutanada really sees these concerts as a way for students to get ready for those ABRSM exams. I mean, those are pretty standard in the music world, right? But I imagine the pressure's on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Those exams can feel like a tightrope walk, for sure. But that's where Dutanada's approach really shines.
Mm-hmm.
By making these smaller studio concerts a regular thing, it's like a dress rehearsal for the main event. They get used to playing under pressure, but in a safer space, which honestly is a useful skill no matter what you end up doing in life.
It's true. It's true. Exams, presentations, they never really go away, do they?
Sadly, no.
Now, here's where things get really interesting to me. Dutanada is all about memorization. And I don't just mean memorizing the music to show off at a party, although I wouldn't say no to that.
Right.
They see it as a way to really get deeper into the music, to, I don't know, become part of it. But, and maybe this is just me, memorization always seemed like a chore. How does it actually help the music?
It's true, memorization can feel like pulling teeth. But think of it like this. You know a piece of music so well, it's not even about the notes anymore. You're living it. It's the difference between reading a speech and really feeling it.
Yeah.
That connection, that raw emotion, it comes through when you know it by heart. And besides, studies show memorization helps you focus, remember things, and even solve problems more creatively. Those are skills anyone can use, right?
For sure. Okay, so big picture time. The notes you shared really highlighted how Dutanada designs this whole system to build towards bigger and bigger performances. It's like a staircase, right? You start with these studio concerts, then you move on to like annual shows, and then boom, you're in a competition. Some high-stakes event organized by, some outside group. It's a whole different ball game.
And that's the brilliance of it. It's a roadmap, a game plan. They're giving these kids the tools and experience to handle those more intense performance situations as they come. And along the way, they're developing this versatile skill set, this confidence, and that confidence, that comfort with performing that's useful in any situation, really, whether you're playing Mozart or pitching a business idea, it all comes back to that core skill.
Makes you think, doesn't it? It's not just about music. Dutanada's system, it makes you wonder, what if we took this approach in other areas of life? Could we apply it to learning a new language, coding, public speaking in the workplace? It really makes you rethink how we approach learning new things, don't you think?
Absolutely. Food for thought, for sure.